Allow the children
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ,
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o,
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn àjò.
Maiyegun.
Maiyegun ti dé. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Maiyegun live. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been a while, yeah? Okay. I think that doing this afternoon, right? Especially when we don't really have a lot of us on, when people can always tune in and then watch later. So please, after reading the caption of the broadcast as usual, right? Like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Maiyegun is live. Yeah, he's live this morning. So we call it a brunch time because in America, it is breakfast, right? And then in this part of the world, Europe and even in Nigeria, it is lunchtime, right? So this afternoon, I want to pretty much pass a message that I've always been passing, and that is know your enemy. You know, when the people don't know their real enemies, right? They channel their energies towards another victim because simply more or less like, you know, whoever is close by, you can hate on or like whoever is close by to you. So this afternoon, we want to touch a topic, and that is Nigeria and the cause of tribalism. You know, it's very much, you know, well pronounced in that contraption. But from my own personal experience and from what we have been, you know, dealing with since after the 2023 charade, right? It seems that the hatred, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, among tribes, right, seems to be going mainstream. And for the sake of our own children and children's children, it is ideal, right, to educate the supposed feeble minds, you know. So in clarity, we have a problem, and that problem is the problem of tribalism. And it's so unfortunate as well that in that contraption, right, as much as the poor people carries this tribal, ethnic, and then this religious supremacy on their heads, their oppressors, supposedly their leaders, right? They mingle, they intermarry, they share their loot together, and they do all this without, like, you know, pinpointing their tribal or ethnic or religious supremacy. More of the reason why we believe that, you know, weaponizing tribalism by the criminal politicians among the poor people seems to have been the most potent divisive tool in the arsenal. But maybe when more exposure is, more searchlight is beamed on it, and those of you who have enabled it yourself, maybe you can have your rethink, or you can at the same time understand what the consequences of this will be. In 2023 charade, right? After thiefnubu declared that it was his turn and it was Yoruba's turn, the entire country took that as, you know, okay, this will be a Yoruba man project. Many of us who came out to say these criminals do not, by any inch, represent Yoruba people, but their own interest. And we gave examples, you know, where you have the same problems that everyone is suffering from, every part of that contraption is also, right, present in Yorubaland. So we believe that our people deserve better. And in fact, having better means us like being on our own. But those in charge of, you know, our region, Yorubaland, the political class and the rest of them, they are also leveraging on the fake, what do you call the fake union called Nigeria to cover up their own asses. So we can't deal with them per se. So we are all dealing with the same problems. The same problem of kleptomaniacs, career criminals, the people who continue to mortgage the future of the young and the old. And we know them, we recognize them, but they are protected by Nigeria, just like your own criminals are also protected by Nigeria. But within space, we also identify the fact that we have those who, even if you condemn these criminals many times over, they will always admire them and enable them. They also live among us, right? Which simply means that as you have the likes of thiefnubu in Yorubaland, you also have the likes of Ojiu, Zokalu, Orocha, Efulefus or Tingba, and the likes like that in the eastern part of Nigeria. As you also have the rogues like Gandola, Wakwansop, and their clans, right, from northern part of Nigeria, including El Rufaya, the most poison, the chalice, kind of, right? But in the long run, most of us, especially in Yorubaland, we are not keeping quiet, to be honest, right? When it comes to the nuisance of the ronukus, I gave them names, like loads of names, so that you can identify those, right, who are very much in bed, in love with their own oppressors. And we also have so many of us here too, who are from, for example, from Igboland, from other land in southern part of Nigeria, right, who have spoken out against the rogues among them. And indeed, we have also had those who have defended them too. All of these are facts. But if this madness stops with politics, I mean, it can be said to be manageable. Unfortunately, you see this madness, especially when the ronukus started categorizing Yorubas and their citizenship. They started having their classes in their heads. And some of them are very disappointed that they are calling themselves conservatives, all right? That they started what they call the classism in Yorubaland. And if your mama and your papa are not full-blooded Yorubas, that's what they said. Oh, that simply means that you are a tainted blood. Like, this is like taking it to the extreme. You've done, you've possibly, right, pushed your, the ethnic hatred enough, right, that we have to fear the Igbos. Why we shouldn't worry about the Fulanis. You know what I mean? In fact, we should embrace the Fulanis more than we embrace you. So we get you. So how about you kind of like end your madness there? But they won't. So they went as far as preaching that, if your mother or your father is from another ethnic nationality within that same space, so then you are not a full Yorubas. You would become a second-class citizen, third class, fourth class, fifth class, on and on like that. All of these, right? Some people will hear them and they will laugh. No. But you are making a mistake. If they manage to get to power or seize power, if any of them that thinks like that gains power, and you can tell the whole nonsense that the APC, Ebekebe, and their goons are trying out in Lagos, right? So that's exactly what it will be like. And when they don't have the Igbos to go after, probably they will ask you to go after yourself, which is, of course, not even in absent right now. You know what I mean? When they call their fellow Yorubas Araoke, Awotibe, you know what I mean? Like, even within Yorubaland, they still push that kind of a tribal supremacy. But that one hasn't gone mainstream yet, right? So, entering into family circle, family trees to break them apart by spreading hatred. Now, that's something I've never, for real, I actually did a program on it here. I asked that if we have had anyone who had been treated, right, sort of like treated badly, simply because you have a dual parentage. Your mama is this from this part, or your papa is from this part, have you at any time been treated or reminded of that or treated differently because of that you've come to realize? Few people share their own personal experiences, right? And there's one when someone said, well, you know something, this won't happen in Igboland, because in Igboland, it is believed that, if for any reason the child, right, is rejected by his own father, even if the mother is Igbo and the father is from another part, and the child is rejected by his or her father's side, to them, the child belongs to the father of the mother. Kind of like, there's no bastard here. And that seems to be something that a lot of people kind of agree to as well, right? It's not like, However, I have come across so many of these hateful platforms where supposed adults, young people, they were deliberating on, how this tribe is supreme to that tribe and all of that stuff, right? Which is pretty much common amongst us in the southern part of Nigeria. If the Yorubas are not fighting or if the Edos are not pushing the Yorubas and all of that, right? You'll get to see the Yorubas also pushing that of the Igbos. But one thing is that all these groups don't really represent the general, sort of like the general population. But somehow, their activities continue to drop that stain on everyone. Like you will hear one supposed gullible idiot that's going to say, why are the Yorubas always like this? Simply because they have been dealing with the ronukus on social media, the same ronukus that are calling their fellow Yorubas Omoali for not towing the path of APC. Do you get that now? So it's like they'll say, these Yorubas are like that. And then you hear others, they'll say, these Igbos are, you know what I mean? Well, I came across something that got me thinking, like, I don't know how bad this is, so I do not know. But somehow, we may have a lot of problem in our hands, right? And it wouldn't be a problem. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be a big problem if we all come to terms soon enough to say, you know what, let's go our separate ways. I'm going to play you this supposed conversation between, these Igbo TikTokers, right? And this time they were not probably talking about the Yorubas or talking about the Hausas in that kind of like context. They are talking like the ronukus. Like they're talking like the ronukus. I heard them say that the problems of Igboland is caused by people with a dual parentage. If you're an Igbo person watching this right now, I think this is the time you should, right? Possibly get closer. I don't know if you have seen this, and I don't know how many of these kind of platforms you've stumbled on many times, and I don't know how you feel. But I wouldn't mind to know how you feel, all right? When some group of misinformed Efulefus come together, and in their hateful, whatever background or upbringing, they look at the entire Igboland, the eastern part of Nigeria, and they concluded the problem is from those who are dual parentage, because they are the saboteurs. They are the ones sabotaging the progress of Igboland. I was like, how? They are not. Could that be, they are talking about their governors, talking about their, lawmakers, talking about their government contractors. Like, I don't understand. And that's why I'm actually going to share this with you. It's a long conversation, right? The one you can understand, please key in and tell me, is this actually real in Igboland where you are, or is this new, the way you are treated in such a bad way or being treated at all? This whole thing is spreading on social media, by the way. Like, it is a thing. There are those who have become very prominent on social media simply because they are sharing and spreading this kind of ethnic, tribal, religious, hateful content. And they have friends, they have listeners. And that simply just tells you that, You know, that somebody is not just speaking into the void. There are those who are of like minds, and they were agreeing with them. We need to get rid of them. We need to like, where is that coming from? Well, let me share this with you. They are, you know, usually people like that, they are always like conspiracy theories, conjuring nonsense, half-truths, lies, and all that. But guess what? Because this is social media, there's always somebody somewhere that's going to agree with you. So yeah, it's true, Jerry, my sister. You are very right. Now, so these Edo people, they do. Now, so these Yoruba people, you see Yoruba people, you see these Yoruba people, and you be like, you are very right, my sister. You are right, my brother. And it flourishes. And for those who probably understand that Nigeria get many problems, right? Maybe you should think how worse or how horrible it is for real when you have, you know, when you have people that, I don't know if they are pretty mature, like if they are, you know, rehabilitable. Let's say a word like that. I want you to listen to this chat between these clowns.
They tend not to abide to their husband.
Those children, do you have a land? Turn your back, turn your front. These are what most of the evil platforms are doing. And Yorubas are disorganized, destroying all of you. Those back home, let me say, okay, they might be afraid because of the situation that's happening there. Because of the insecurity there. They don't want to come out publicly. But those living in diaspora, like most of the Yorubas, most of these very Fulanis that are opening their platforms to talk down on Ndi Igbo, what are they doing? What are they fucking doing? This is my question to them. All they care to fight one another. All they care is to fight. This person say, the other person say, I will not, you will not, I will deal with you. These are the nonsense people platforms are doing.
Some of them are not. I'll prove that. Put me on the big screen real quick. We have a lot of invaders in our land. We have a lot of invaders in our land. Screen. I have a video to play. Yeah, go ahead, Johnny. If you don't, let me know.
No, go ahead.
All right, let me bring the video. Hold on. A lot of people in Igboland today, as we're talking, you cannot force people with different bloodline because the person identifies as Igbo to do to carry out an Igbo agenda. There's a lot of people in Igboland who are not ethnically Igbos. A lot of them. We need to start cleaning, or we still have the same problem. We need to start cleaning the land of these people. If we get rid of these people, that is when we can move forward. Because you can't move forward while you have enemies in your midst impersonating as you. It's very, very difficult. 1 second, I'm looking for the video. I'm going to play right now, so you see what I'm talking about. 1 second. Let me play it again.
Can you make it, sorry, Kesh, can you make it louder, please? See if it's louder.
I think that's the highest it can go. I don't know. This phone don't normally have a lot of volumes. Hold on. Let me
But I heard everything he said,
One
actually.
second.
Okay.
Okay.
I heard everything he said. Yeah.
Okay. I totally hope everybody understood this video and got the message. Now, if you see this,
I've
if you
seen
see
this video before. I've seen
if you
this
see,
video. I've watched it before.
if you see this person, there are a lot of people like this in Igboland that identify as Igbos, but they are not. You know, I will not blame anybody. I will not say some of our sisters or whatever. But we need to start fixing some things. If we don't fix that thing, those things is going to destroy us. We need to start by marriage or how we intermix. Sometimes, because of unforeseen circumstances, people can have children somewhere, maybe as Igbo woman or whatever, but you don't want to stay there. You carry your children back to Igboland and you raise them up as Igbos. And these children will grow, have Igbo accent and have Igbo identity, but their bloodline is not Igbo. Before I make any more comments on this, I just wanted to say that no matter how we talk, if we don't address the main cause of this issue, about what Johnny is saying, the reason you should understand that not all these guys you calling their attention because they have to follow the Igbo agenda or Igbo cause. Not all of them are Igbos according to their bloodline, and they know it, but they hide under the umbrella of Igbo to be prosperous or to do whatever they want to do so that they can be accepted. But behind the skin, they are against you. We should start a massive cleanup in Igboland, identify these people, how they manage to become Igbo, how do they come into Igboland, and how do they speak and have your accent and look more like you. That's the things we need to start doing. I think that is a solution. Then we also sensitize our people who go out for maybe greener pasture, and on the circumstances they intermix with one or two of these devils, and because she doesn't want her children to be part of those culture, because Igbo culture is beautiful. Everybody want to be part of Igbo culture everywhere in the world. If you go to anywhere in Africa, they'll tell you they want Igbo culture. Nigerian culture is all about Igbo culture. The food, the men, the women, the dress, everything you hear about Nigeria is Igbo. The movies, everything, home videos, is all about Igbo culture. That is why Nigeria movie became popular, because of how the Igbos colored it with their culture. So everybody want to be part of that. So definitely, we need to sanitize our people. If you are
nuisance lele, nuisance lele.
So, like I said, you heard all of that, Abi. That is, if you take out, what do you call it? If you take out Igbo from it, so those of you who have heard Bonka, Ebiri, so many of those mofos who have pushed similar narratives, and they are still pushing it. He played a video of a guy that was speaking Igbo, at the same time, probably speaking in support of the Fulanis. And we all know that the Fulani terrorists that are currently dealing with everyone in that contraption have the backing of the owners of Nigeria. Put it that way. And that's not conspiracy, because we can have another hour conversation on that. But that's not the point. Right? So the Fulani terrorist that has created enough sort of like apprehension in the land, right? So you can say, oh, that's justifiable if somebody says that, but it's not. It is not. Before they gave birth to that idiot that was talking there, and possibly those who are listening to him, people have been intermarrying. His own ancestors have traveled out of Igboland. They have traveled far and wide. They have intermarried. They have done businesses. They have established themselves beyond Igboland, beyond Nigeria, beyond Africa. Right? And that was how a lot of people, right, possibly gets attracted to the Igbo culture, Igbo language, Igbo this and that, because they traveled, they married from outside. Therefore, when you look at the population of Igbos today, like the Yorubas too, so you get now, when you look at the population of the Yorubas today, when you look at the population of the Igbos today, you will realize that they have a lot of diaspora descendants, because for centuries they have been everywhere, right? But self-preservation, which means preserving your language, your culture, your way of life, and the rest of that, should indeed, right, be paramount to anyone and everyone. I agree. But how do you turn around and call people, your own people, your enemies? Like, we need to identify them as our enemies. They speak like us, they dress like us, but they are not one of us. These are just, the children that were the product of intermarriages, and therefore, we can't, and you call them enemies. That's the point. He actually called them enemies. And listen, in his own family, the idiot that is speaking in that TikTok this probably is married to one Norwegian, American, British, Swedish, or God knows, somewhere, because most of them are not even in Nigeria. Most of those who push these narratives, including those who push it on the ronukus side, though. But they don't have an idea of how many millions of people this is going to actually affect. So in their warped mind, in their hateful mind, whatever is going on in Nigeria, however they are being kind of like treated, or everyone is being treated, the best is that let us call those who are one of us, let's call them our enemies. Because you know something, they are actually not like us anyway. They are not us anyway. And I've never seen that or heard that in Igboland. Why would you call? Because that's what the ronukus are saying. The ronukus are calling their fellow Yorubas Omoale, enemies, Ota Yoruba, enemy of Yoruba, while the rogues who are supposed to actually push the progress of Yorubaland are those who are behind the retrogression of Yorubaland, the impoverishment of the Yoruba people. But the ronukus don't see it that way. The ronukus believes that our problem is that some people are not Yoruba enough because they are Dua, and they are the reason why. Do you understand? So I never expected that from Igboland. And when you listen to some of these guys talking, most of them are not in Nigeria. Many of them have married diasporans, married whoever they could marry abroad to get themselves settled wherever they are. But from their comfort zone in their homes, they are now spreading and pushing hatred. This hatred is not even like against other ethnic group. It is against themselves. What do you call that? Self-hate? Cut your nose to spite your face? Listen to the rest. So cringy.
They tend not to abide to their husband culture. They don't want to be part of that culture. They teach their children Igbo instead of maybe Yoruba, or some of them don't even go to their husband's house during festive period. They instead turn to go to Igboland. So those children become more Igbo than the actual bloodline. But these children are implanted to destroy the Igbo community, because, and these are the kind of children we're talking about now. You know, you see this man talking because there was a retaliation against Fulanis. That is when the Fulani blood came out from him, and he now starts speaking up. You know, that is why when you talk about the freedom of Ndibo, there are some people like this guy that is talking, who you think is an Igbo person, is against it. But unfortunately, the guy is not Igbo. So we shouldn't be deceived that our people are trying to sabotage our movement. A lot of these people who are trying to sabotage the Igbo nations are implanted as Igbos, but they are not Igbos. Okay, I'll mute for now.
Kesh, I really understand you very well, and I know this problem anyway did not start from today. This mixed breed, you know, it started after the war. We know that very well. But at the same time, I know also that we have real Igbo people, and those real Igbo people are also not helping matters. This guy now that was speaking on this very video, I know that if somebody sees him on the street, without you maybe knowing him before, you will not know that he's not an Igbo, because he speaks very well. He speaks Anambra more than anyone. Even he speaks more than me when it comes to Igbo language, Igbo dialect. But we still have people with Igbo blood, mother Igbo, father Igbo, everything Igbo. We still have such people. And those people also are not helping matters. Okay, let's now assume that the mixed blood we have among ourselves, and let's say about 30% or 40%, I even have, let me say 50%. What about the rest 50% that are real Igbos? What are they doing? We have a lot of them. Okay, let us see maybe the situation, the condition of that useless entity they call Nigeria is not giving them the opportunity to use their media, their platforms to do something better that will benefit the Igbos. What about those ones living outside Nigeria that have also platforms? We have Igbos that have bigger platforms. What are they doing with it? Then we prefer to use their platforms to fight themselves, to do something unnecessary, something irrelevant things that is not benefiting the Igbos. They will not use it even to teach the Igbo history, the Igbo culture. They will not use it to tell how the Igbos are great, how the Igbos are the most beautiful, handsome men and women. They will not use it to propagate this gospel. Unlike these Ofe Mano people. To be very honest, ndị Ofe Mano ka anyị na-eme ọfụma karịa abịa n'ihe gbasara maka ihe anyị na-ekwu ugbu a. Ndị Ofe Mano ka anyị na-eme ọfụma. Nnele our people sometimes, iwe ha na-ewe m. It breaks my heart to see most of these individuals. You know, somebody like me, I can only talk about myself. I'm going so many people who want bigger platforms. Sometimes change your program. Talk a little bit about the things of Ndibo, even if it is not about Sagarin in the Yoruba and the Etiti. But at least teach our people that now Igbo culture is very, very good, very important, that we shouldn't forget it. Talk something about Ndibo. Many of them ignored it, even today. Oh, another one, just on 30th May, 2 days ago. Somebody with a bigger platform, use that platform, create no nuisance. Whereas others, we are talking about Igbo, talking about Ojukwu, talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. talking about how dirty the Yorubas are, how coward Yorubas can be and the Fulanis. I went to that person in Boston and said, look, what you are doing, is it normal? Look at other platforms. Some other platforms are doing something. They're remembering that Igbos are very great people. Why can't you use your platform and do the same thing, even if it's only today? The person ignored me. Am I going to have the people block on my own? Because I don't want to be seeing them anymore. We have this mixed blood in our midst, and they are causing a lot of problems. And the only way we can do this very perfect sanitizing that we are talking about, Cash, the only way we can be able to identify these people is when all of us join hands together, the real Igbos, Father Igbo, Mother Igbo, everything Igbo. It is only when all of us we come out and say the enough is enough, we cannot be able to identify them, just like this idiot who was talking on this very video. Now he has been identified. Anywhere I see him and we know that this person is not Igbo, even if it is speaking Igbo, I cannot put him in a place where I put those saboteurs and those destroyers. And how did this guy come up? He came up because of what? He has been pushed. And the real blood of who he is now came out. These are the things to be identifying these people. And the only way we can succeed is those real Igbos to contribute and work alongside with the people that are doing it already. So we can be able to separate the chaff from the real fruit. But we cannot do it alone. We have to do that. One person cannot do it. So we should also hold the real Igbos, we should also hold them responsible, those who are not contributing anything with those useless platforms they have. It's making me to be upset.
Johnny,
nuisance lele.
About internet, social media is one hell of a drug, by the way. Because I can imagine adults whose daughter or son, or even daughter and son, they are half Igbo, half Lebanese, half Igbo, half American, half Igbo, half Indian. And that person, God knows whatever is going on in your life, because people are many like that on social media, that you can become so emotional over nonsense. Because I was trying to pick some of what these guys were saying to themselves, you know. It's like being inside the asylum, the loonies asylum, the lunatics, place. And everybody's just chatting, everybody's making sense. But every normal person around there will just be like, what are they talking about? That they have become so invested in it that they've become so emotional. You understand? Because social media makes it look like they are invincible. You get that now? Like you can put up any identity on social media. Such an hypocrite. And if you see majority of them, who mostly are actually outside Nigeria, right? They are not married to Igbo. So you can take that from me. They are not. And sometimes you can ask what exactly really happened to this kind of people, like who really hurt them, and when did, you know what I mean? Like, because if you pick up on everything he's saying, it's not different from somebody who is mental, like sick. And from there, when you see people like that, right, that because it's social media, you can hide behind this, just make sure that they are not seeing your face per se. So you can then present yourself as this, macho, no nonsense guy. And that is why he's kept saying, the real Igbos, we must come together. We must, and deal with the mixed blood in our midst. I don't understand. The insecurity in Igboland, the corruption in Igboland, the underdevelopment of Igboland by your political class. So, would you blame that on mixed blood? Because some of you sometimes, I don't know, you probably do feel, because when I listen to some of them, like some of them feel like they are immune from, you know, from what they are pushing. Like it's not going to affect me because I'm one of the ROH, so it won't affect me. I'm spared, even though I have dual birth. Something happened when the ronukus were at the heights of their madness, right? So it now got to a stage, right? And they are like describing those who are real Yorubas and those who are not real Yorubas. And they now said, if your mama is this or your papa is from this, you are not real Yoruba. And that thing just be like, you know, natural selection. Some of those who are the champions pushing their bigotry, their I am Yoruba, they saw these ronukus bastards, all right? And I just came and said, but my mom is Nupe. You get that? Like, my mom is Nupe. My dad is Yoruba. My mom is Nupe. So me, I prefer to be a Yoruba, so I'm not Nupe. So you get like, and then they just reminded him and told him that, oh, Benny, you are not full-blooded Yoruba. What do you mean? So you mean that me too, I am not a Yoruba like this. You are not Yoruba. I was like, and he is one of the arrowhead. Similarly, you see the hypocrisy in so many of them. This is where we are today. Okay? So feeling pumped, feeling powerful. If I meet any of them, I will put them in their place. So what are you going to do? You're going to be hunting anyone with dual, anyone with a dual belt, right? I don't understand, because it is the same thing for the ronukus, remember, who believes that the Igbos are coming to take their land, while their criminal politicians continue to grab their land and sell their lands off. They don't have any land, but they believe that some people are coming to take their imaginary land, while the real existing land is not even distributed to them. They can afford to own one. So the political class kind of feel like, okay, yeah, keep it that way. So it's not different from these other idiots. Igbo culture is beautiful. Igbo culture is Igbo tradition is beautiful. Did they tell you that Igbo culture is also that beauty, that whatever you say about the Igbo culture and tradition, right? Did they tell you that they achieved that by hating, calling their own blood enemy? Called the Yorubas Undi Ofe Manu. Abi? Because I can understand, here you get, I can understand if your hatred for other people, right, is also built on God knows the genesis of the hatred, all right? But why would you now hate your own people and you want people to hate them with you? And anyone who is not is considered as is considered as saboteurs, because they are the problem of our land. They are the problem of our land. They are the problem of Igboland. If Igboland want to progress, we need to deal with the mixed blood in our midst. What are you going to do to them? The same question I asked the ronukus. What are they going to do? You will not be able to contest the election. You will not be able to stand for any office. Even those ones where they stand for election, even you will present yourself as a full-blooded. You are not even like presentable enough to say you want to, you know what I mean? Like you want to contest and, you know what I mean? Like you don't have what it takes. Majority of you would rather like, roaches. No, not roaches, crickets, like crickets. Remember when the crickets at night, they make the loudest noise. Right? When you get closer, they just go so quiet, like dead quiet. That's what I see most of these guys. If you are frustrated wherever you are abroad, spreading hate, making yourself feel so like, you know, sometimes, right, is, not sometimes, all the time, it is a sign of lunacy. So we want people to understand that whatever hatred you harbor in your heart, okay, whatever it is that you have fed, whatever happened to you in your life, right? If you need education, get it, okay? The real problem of that place of that contraption is no other than the rogues who continue to hold on to a mismatched union, right? Because if we don't curb this madness, even when Nigeria finally breaks, when you have nobody to blame, when you don't have Ofe Manu to blame, when you don't have the dirty Yorubas to blame, you begin to look inward and begin to attack yourselves. So that is why those of you who are Igbos, right, who understand the danger of this kind of mindset should not look away, because that's what we are doing in Yorubaland too, exposing these rogues, right, who are parading themselves as Omoluabi Yorubaland, defending a drug dealer, defending treasury looters, supporting all these vices, and simply because, well, yeah, they are Yorubas, right? Because a lot of us believe that aftermath of all of this, there will be a payback time. Do you understand? So if you now begin to enter people's family tree and all of that to spread, you may probably not come from an happy home, because most of the people who do these things don't come from happy homes. I found out. They're not from happy homes. Most of them are they are mostly from hateful, broken homes, right? That you can tell that anything about family value or human value don't really matter to them, so they can imagine, fantasize on how to kill their enemies, because they can choose the easy target, while they are real enemies, the one responsible for whatever it is, economic, security, environmental, name it, the real ones responsible for it are smiling to the bank every day. I'll leave you to it, right? And then good morning to those of you in America. Good afternoon to us here in the UK. I'll see you later this evening. You have a good one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun